U5 Entertainment, U5 Worldwide, giving thanks to the fans and the people that support us. U5, we did it. U5.
What up, everybody? Episode 5 coming up. Oh, yeah, we back. This is U5 News Flash. Originally created and originated from Brooklyn, New York, 1987. This is rated U5. And we're here today to go and interview a hot artist coming from my neck of the woods when I used to be out there in Bushwick. Now, he's out of Strong Island. A little bit about this gentleman. His name is Zeeq, the ZYC. Zeeq, the ZYC.
Yes, sir.
Cultural innovator, multifaceted musician, performer, recording artist, DJ, CEO, business owner. I like to hear all this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Out of Strong Island, not Long Island, but Strong Island. We want to go and welcome aboard this segment of U5 News Flash. Zeeq, ZYC. What's going on, Zeeq?
What's up, y'all? Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, Rated. It's been a long time. I definitely remember like over 10, 12 years ago? Like the first time I met you, I think, something like that. One of the first times.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. And, you know, when I was doing the U5 Enterprises thing and promoting artists from El Salvador to Cambodia, you know, I wanted to go promote local artists within my neck of the woods. And obviously, you know, fine artists like yourself, Hood Scholars, shout out to Hood Scholars, Done U5, Connecticut, you know, Philly Four Fingers, IV, the Hood Scholars, you know, Lottie Da, Fiora, all those artists.
Lessons, definitely. Shout out to everybody, for real. I think I met some of them. We had like a event.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a while, and you know how things come around full circle, and here we are. You know, I've done so many things in the military and, you know, politicking, and here I am having this honor of going back to my roots, hip hop. You know, hip hop started out, you know, in the boroughs of New York City, in the Bronx, and we're a part of that history. So it's kind of neat to go and see the tradition carried on with artists like yourself.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's paying homage. You know, like at the end of the day, like, I learned a lot of the stuff I learned from the fact that everybody was doing it during those times. So, you know, people like yourself, and they was around me. You know, Bushwick, Brooklyn. You see the culture. That's the culture shift nowadays. But you know, like at one point or another, like you go there and you see like every kind of life, like every kind of lifestyle, every kind of background. So, you know, so I think that we're definitely a result of that, like the melting pot, like more often than not.
Well, let's talk about I mean, it's going back to, you know, your history in art and entertainment, whatnot. You know, you fell under the U5 umbrella, which we deal with, you know, everything from graffiti to fashion designing to vocal artists and whatnot. And so, you know, what type of music groups were you affiliated with? Were you always solo? Were you rapping with others and singing with others, or how did that come about?
All right, so to describe this situation so it's heavily understood by like any artist who's probably listening to, like I went through stages and layers. Like I felt like I was always a solo artist because like when you're first starting out and you're like creating like your music or your any art for that matter, it could be for any art, but like if you're creating art, like you're kind of have like this, it's like an imposter syndrome. Like, you know, you don't want to
Right.
share everything with anyone. You don't want to show it. You don't want to put on display. And it's like you tell yourself you're a perfectionist. Like you become more of a perfectionist than an artist, like in the beginning stages. So I would
So
say that like, go ahead.
where did you draw all this energy and these you know these lyrics in your mind? Like where did it all come from? Anyone that attributes to?
All right, so yeah, like definitely like my grandparents, my mom, you know, it started with them and went to my mom and like everybody else. Cool people, like Caribbean, but they're around Spanish folks and they grew up in Brooklyn, so they have like a view of the American dream that like most like immigrants coming to like United States have. And I
Right.
think that in many ways, like I kind of like I embraced all that and write about it because I'm into like spirituality and freedom and things of that nature, like, you know, and just elevating beyond this dimension, if that makes sense.
Right. So and I like your shirt, the New Yorker. I see, and I've never seen that
Okay.
twist on it, you know, whatnot.
Exactly.
Um,
Like I was confused the first time I saw it 'cause I never heard it pronounced like that. And I was like, you know what? It does kind of sound like it's all about the enunciation.
there you go. So how's your relationship then? That you've got any other siblings that are into the music industry like you are, or is it just you?
I would say that I have a sister. She like works in Broadway plays. I'm not Broadway, but she'll maybe one day. Maybe I'm speaking into existence. I don't know. But she speaks. She like works on plays and like all over Long Island, New York, and city and whatnot. And hopefully she gets to do more. She's very talented. She has a vocalist. You know, my older brother was like an engineer. He's one of the first people that got me to answer your original question. That got me into the doing the music and whatnot because
Okay.
he was kind of like the chaperone when it came to certain things because like I was the little brother at a point and before I came into my own. That's why I say I went through stages and layers because
Right.
it was a time where I could only record through him. So I wouldn't be allowed to record. And then the guy who recorded that song with me that you played in the intro, he's just the second person that allowed me to record on the microphone.
I hear you.
So, you know what I'm saying? So like his name was Freddie Laz, and it was because of him, that's why all of this came to fruition. Like we had ended up doing like a song for like our friend who had passed away.
Hmm.
So like when we had did a song like that, I think we were already working on music for months though, but people didn't know that. So like we were working on that for months, but that song came organically. Like after we had been working on all that stuff, I think he had lost everything on his like hard drive or something like that, and
Wow.
you know, so he ended up like creating a lot of this stuff from scratch. So we had done that like memorabilia song for like our friend, and
Hmm.
that was a tragedy in and of itself, you know. But I think a lot of times I could draw my inspiration from like the tragedies I experienced or like, you know, the lessons I learned, you know, whether it be like family or friends or whatever. Like, you know, my
Yeah.
heaviest influence is like my past self. That's how I feel about a lot of stuff. But I had a lot of people help me. So like I appreciate the influences, like such as yourself. Like you were the
Well,
first people that got me as a model to like a model in New York City and start my
I was
portfolio.
about to bring that up. I
You
was
know what I'm
about to
saying?
bring
Like,
that up. I was thinking, man,
yeah,
you know, you used to model some of our U5 merch, as a matter of
exactly.
fact. And I remember there was this really splendid photo. I wish I had it now.
Mhm.
I'll probably have to dig through it, but it was a photograph of you. You had your back to the camera.
Yep,
The back had
yep.
the big U5, and there was some beautiful graffiti artwork in front of you. It was either on the chalk or on a wall, whatnot.
Yeah, it was
I
on a truck.
remember
And
that
you know
day.
what's
You had
hilarious about
hat
that?
on and everything. Yeah.
Exactly. You know what's hilarious about that? I saw that very same truck walking through Harlem like
Oh,
4 or 5 years
oh,
later. And I was
oh.
like, what is the odds of that? Like, you know, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But I remember that I was like, oh, yo, that's from U5 photo shoot. You know, like I can recollect. Like I remember exactly. You know, and that was like how I got my foot in the door. Same thing. You're also one of the first people that ever paid me to get on stage, you know,
Right.
and I always appreciate you for that. Like I'll always
Yeah.
give you the props for that because that was in the heart of Brooklyn too,
Yeah, that's right.
you
It was
know,
one of our U5 shows. We did a few out there in New York City,
yep.
you know.
Met
Oh,
Dunn in person and whatnot, Dunn
John,
U5
man. Oh my gosh, he's an awesome, awesome singer, rapper.
for sure.
But yeah, I hope to have him here on the show as well in the future. But you
Definitely.
know, going back to you, I wanted to find out like what is the music scene where you're at? Are you still in Long Island now?
I'm like in New York, so like I am in Long Island, but like I differ from different parts of New York. I'll be in the city
Okay.
one day, and then I'll be in Long Island. But my
Right.
business, like my DJ business, my entertainment business, is in Long Island. It's Long Island NY DJs. I consider the whole 5 boroughs in Long Island, the East End, Long
Right.
Island.
So say that
So,
business once again for those that are listening to this podcast.
oh
The
yeah,
name
so
of the
this
business.
Long Island, like the name of the place, all in one word. NY, like New York. NY, like New Yorker. NY. DJS.com. And it's like one of those places where you can book DJs in advance. You can book it last minute. You can do whatever you may need to do. And we got everybody all over the place. If you're a DJ and you need to work for a place and you want to offer your time and you want to make money, you can reach out to me too. And you can call me, text me day in and day out. But outside of that, like I said, I'm watching the music scene, like I'm around it. As far as New York is concerned, they're never not in the music scene. Like it's
Right.
always jumping. Something's going on. Like there's always going to be like a new
Yeah.
sound or like a new artist or something like that. So like it's New York, pretty much.
That's right. I mean, this is the hip hop culture of the world. And when I was growing up back in Bushwick, like uh, late '60s, early '70s, and like hip hop started becoming more and more pronounced.
Yeah,
And we were still listening to Curtis Blow and
yeah,
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, who people don't even
yeah,
talk about these old groups anymore much.
yeah.
But
I still listen to him. I still listen to him. That's the funny part. Like
yeah,
I think a lot of my songs you hear it too. Like I got samples of like old school joints. Like it'll be like a Rakim sample, or it'll be like you said, a Curtis Blow sample,
yeah,
or maybe a Slick Rick, anything like that. And sometimes it's not even like you can hear their voice. It's like it's sped up or it's slowed down. So you gotta be really a hip hop head or remember when it came out to know it. So I think that's the cool part of the music. I think more than anything.
so I remember like going to the clubs. It was 1018s and Heartthrobs and Lamore
Yeah.
East, and seeing Eric B and Rakim live
Mhm.
at one of these clubs, and they were just like these big colossus. Especially Rakim and Eric B. Even the big chains and the gigantic rings, and it was like, oh wow, this is this is happening.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is incredible.
The
But it's
God
been like
MC. And
pioneers.
Eric B.
What's that?
Yeah. It's like the
Uh huh.
God MC and Eric B. Yep, pioneers for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I got a couple of the figurines, a little we got a matter of fact, check it out. Speaking of the devil.
Nice. That's
Check
awesome.
it out,
That's
huh?
definitely great. Definitely would want to get one of those, man. Those are
Yeah.
pretty cool. See, that stuff like that is cool. Like merchandise like that. Like I think things like that are a great way of keeping things alive as far as music is concerned. Because
Mm.
like now a kid can know who Eric B and Rakim is. If they got a toy that represents them, a
Right.
figurine, things like that.
Well, I'm gonna bring up one of your tracks here that I see on YouTube, and I'm gonna play just maybe a few seconds of it, just to so others can go and see your vibe.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I wanna go where another's never gone before. I wanna spit all the words I never spit before. I'm gonna do all the things I never did before. No outside influence at all. I'm gonna go where another's never gone before. I'm gonna do all the things I never did before. Gonna sing all the songs I never sang before. No outside influence at all. Don't wanna drink no liquor, I don't drink no more. Don't wanna spend any time in that flagship store. I'm gonna not listen while I pick up your call. Like damn, you got the gall. Don't wanna see who got audacity to question me. Not trying to hear why you never wanna mess with me. I can handle rejection redirecting me. Like what could this be? Or who could this be? That I want nothing to do with in the long run. See, you never cared about me. That's why you don't care
So
when I get
this
hurt or if I breathe. And I don't mean
flow
shit to
that
me.
you
I'm
got
the
is
Zeeq.
really, really great. I'm really, really feeling that vibe.
Thank you,
And
man.
the name of that track, you know who knows? Is
Yeah,
that the
Uno
name of
Uno.
it?
Nah, that is the director. He's a director and he's also a producer. He's from Korea, but he's pretty
Okay.
cool. He's like my friend. Well, he's from Brooklyn, and he's definitely a director. He's good with the visuals. So if you guys want some visuals, hit him up. Uno Who Knows. The song is actually called NOI. So it's like,
NOI, no
yeah, it's
outside
like
influence. And
influence.
why did you use that title? Or what made you, what possessed you to go and create a song, no outside influence? Why is that?
Yeah, I'm usually just like really trying to influence myself. So I'm always in a position to like influence others, but I don't make it my personality. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I enjoy creating from scratch and having creative control. I think that's what that really means. But it's also like a play on like, you know, abbreviations and alphabet organizations and things like that. Like, and the video itself is the concept is like I'm outside, but I'm within. So overall, the idea of the song is just to be, you know, I don't internalize influence unless it comes from me. Like, you know, pretty much.
Awesome. So switching the topic of discussion, because I always like to always pose this question. September 11th, 2001. Where were you? Did it have any impact on you? Does it still have an impact on you? What's up?
All right. So, all right, question. So I have to ask, do you remember where you were that day?
I sure do. I was actually a New York City Army recruiter during the September 11th when the towers came down. I was actually there in New York City.
Got it. So you got to see it firsthand fall down?
I was driving. I was actually on the Gowanus Expressway heading from Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn, down in south of Brooklyn, up towards Queens. And, you know, what I saw was some smoke billowing from Tower 1. But I didn't even see the plane hit. I just saw the smoke coming out of Tower 1. And as I got closer towards around the Brooklyn Promenade, around that area, I pulled over to the side of the road and I called into my headquarters and I said, hey, we've got, you know, there's something going on here. They didn't believe it because, like, you know, come on, really? You know, tower, you know, the Twin Towers are on fire. Come on, really? Exactly. And then moments later, I heard the second explosion, which was, you know, evidently the second plane hitting. And that's when I knew we were under attack.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like?
So pretty much I wasn't as close, but I feel like I was still there, if that makes sense. There was a blip in time, like we're up in the morning to get ready for school. There's no terrorist attack, right? So there's probably like an hour of time in between now and me having to get to the bus. 5 minutes before I have to get to the bus, my grandmother gets a phone call. And it's from like one of my aunts, and they're telling her to turn on the TV. As she tells her to turn on the TV, my bus pulls up outside my house,
right?
And I see the towers on the TV coming down. Now, most people that day, they was getting their kids pulled out or whatever, and it's a reflection of who I am too, I guess. But most of these people were pulling their kids out or not even allowing them to go to school because of the possible threat. I think my parents would do the same thing, but it was such a small moment in time that you couldn't have possibly made a decision. I made the conscious decision instead of being scared to go to school that day to see how everyone got affected. And I remember consciously making that decision, like being like, oh, I want to see if anyone else is seeing this, like, or everyone else is reacting to this. I remember throughout the day being in school, I was in Long Island, but, you know, we're on the bus and I know of this from the bus when I'm leaving my house. When I get to school and I'm seeing all these kids that don't know or they're finding out as it's going on throughout the day. So that was my experience. Like, you know what I'm saying? From as far as September 11th is concerned. But
because you were young then, you know, you were young.
Yeah, I was very young. I was probably like second grade. I think I was second grade year. But like during that year, like second grade was actually a pivotal year for me because like, that's why if you ask me, like I met most of my lifelong friends in my second grade year. You know, and that's the interesting aspect of it. I don't know how to explain it. Like they're still around. I know some of them, but like, that day I remember that specifically going outside, the bus pulling up outside. They turning the TV on and me seeing it, and then me like making a conscious decision to be like, I'm going to school. Wow. Anyway, I want to see what happens. So that I remember.
Well, I'm gonna go and cut into this other track that you've got over here and give our viewers a little bit more of what you're capable of. Here we go.
Sure.
And what they think about me is about them. So what they heard about me is about them. So how they feel about me is about them. It says more about them. What's that mean to me? What's that mean to you? How's that seem to them? It says more about them. What's that mean to me? What's that seem to you? What's that mean to them? It It says more about them. And what they think about me is about them. So what they heard about me is about them. So what they hate about me is about them. Yeah, it says more about them. So what they think about me is about them. So what they heard about me is about them. So what they say about me is about them. Yeah, it says it's 2023, and bitch niggas still get the boot. In a crowd full of shooters, all they ever do is loot. Or clip the wrong nigga, claim his body, get his soul. We can 100% promise you that this ain't what you want. It's a whack form of living, niggas get the jail in front. Now they dealing with some problems that none of us would confront. Admiration for criminology is all a stunt. However, this song will be finished before I finish blunts. And I'm trying to think how many words I could rhyme with blunt, considering the synonyms and antonyms of word. Blessed be the mind and cursed be the swerve. So stand near for any terminologies occur. Agreeing with myself so you know that I concur. Was once a teenager, right now that's all a blur. Feel myself as I consistently trip.
So that's awesome, man. And what prompted you to go and write that? And how long did it take you to go and shoot that video, huh? I think you're on mute. Yeah.
All right, so can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, so pretty much I just got sick of like everyone's like me versus them mentality, pretty much. Like, you know, so like
Right.
I just had an idea to like make like a song that kind of just like show people that like I'm kind of competing with myself. I feel like competition is sometimes like very like, you know, it's very like low level compared to like the magnitude of things you can do, you know, when you're just trying to be better than the last time or the last effort you gave.
So
You
your
know,
competition is yourself. Like you ain't trying to compete with anyone else. You're just trying
exactly,
to better yourself and improve upon what you already are.
exactly. And sometimes, you know, like I'm my best competition, you know, and my worst competitor, you know. So I just look at it that way. So that's really all it's about. It's like I'm kind of like talking to like my shadow self and asking it to be a better version, if that makes sense, or be a better version of myself through my shadow self.
All right, I got a few questions for you. First of all, who's your favorite singer?
Gerald Levert.
Levert?
Yeah, Gerald Levert, one of my favorites.
Oh, I haven't heard that one in a while. Levert.
For real, like he's so nice. Like if you hear some of his songs, like his writing is on point too. So I gotta love it. And Eddie Levert, honorable mention too. Gotta love Eddie Levert. But you know, Gerald definitely. I just like his style.
How about your favorite rapper?
Favorite rapper.
If you even have one.
Me, I would have to say, to be honest, because
Right.
you know, because I have songs and I have things I've created that I don't like, I haven't released yet. So I think it's better than a lot of stuff that people put out. But if I had to choose one, like without being like self-centered, I would definitely choose. All right, so I'm gonna choose two. I'm gonna go with Black Thought, and I'm going to go with let me see, somebody like newer. Yeah, I mean, I like anybody who knows how to really make music and rap. Personally, I don't have a favorite rapper. I have a favorite style. I like a certain style of music. I like when people articulate their words. I like when people make witty jokes and clever lines, and I could be like, oh yeah, I heard that. Like, you know, like that's the kind of artist rapper I like. But
they've got a couple folks that are on YouTube. One of them is a blind rapper. He's a white guy.
Yeah, I know you talking about it.
And he's awesome, man. I see
really
him rapping. He's going to shows and taking out folks like nothing. It's like, wow. Then you got this other guy. He likes to do like impromptu art in the streets. He's like maybe a middle-aged man, tall, slender. He looks like he's traveling the world, just asking people for their time to go and rap. Ask for a few words, and he'll go and create a rap right there.
For sure. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I've seen a few of that. I think I know what you're talking about. As far as the blonde rapper, someone had shown me like a freestyle video of him, and like they was doing like words, like giving them words, and like what? 2, and then he'll say the word, and then he'll say this, and make it rhyme, make a scheme out of it. But it's pretty cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I had to choose, I would say people like Black Thought and just the original lyricism. Like, there's a lot of lyricists right now. Like, I like Kendrick. I like all these people. They're cool. Like,
Who
Lupe's
came out
cool.
of Long Island? Since you're from Long Island, who was one of the popular rappers or singers out of Long Island?
Definitely Rakim. Definitely Rakim and Eric Sermon. People like them.
Yeah, EPMD. Yeah.
Let me see what else. There's a few because people don't always Busta Rhymes. I mean, people don't always give Busta the Long Island prop, but he's from Long Island, and like a few other people from Long Island too, as far as I know. There's a bunch of people like who, and then if you want to talk about from Long Island, a lot of the city artists that moved to Long Island after they got big or whatever, technically they're from Long Island too, but they're not. Like it's just something like that.
How about movies? How about movies of singers or artists? Anyone that come to mind? Any movies of singers or rappers?
Singers or rappers? Does it have to be fictional or autobiography or something like that?
It could be either or. It could be 50 Cent. It could be Eminem. It can be.
Yeah, I like the 50 Cent 8 Mile, Get Rich or Die Trying 8 Mile, like all that stuff. But I like the movies like The Wash by freaking Dr. Dre and like Snoop Dogg. That's a good movie too. It's hilarious. Like it's like comedy. You know what I'm saying? But I personally think there needs to be more movies for artists. Personally, I don't really have a favorite because I think there needs to be more. I think more artists that. I think with the influx of like dying rappers or whatever, like in recent times, where like there's like a bunch of these people dying for petty or senseless violence, like I think a lot of them deserve movies about their lives, so people will be more interested in hearing why their pitfalls went the way they did, But like I said, like
back in the days, like when I was coming up, I mean. The hottest movie out there was probably Purple Rain with Prince. I'm dating myself back in the 80s. But then, I came across, I watched this movie with Johnny Cash.
Yeah, exactly.
This song, I didn't know, I never saw who he was, but when he came out on the big screen, I loved the movie. Was great.
Yeah,
really deep movie with Johnny Cash.
I think it's Walk the Line or something like that. One of those. Great class. I love Johnny Cash too. Johnny Cash is my favorite. Like Ring of Fire. And all many different.
So let me get give me an example of like maybe a story of one of your shows, like maybe one of your fantastic shows, maybe one that was kind of mired, it didn't go as well as you thought. Maybe like a show story. You got any show stories for the fans out there?
Oh my gosh, yeah. All right, so. Let me just do this one. So this time it was a group of mine. We were like Group Think Plus at the time, but it was 3 of us and we had gone on a road trip to Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. So we were going out there and we were trying to find a way to get out there and perform because one of our friends from our school that we all graduated from, they went to school there. So they figured they'd hook us up with the ability to perform out there. And lo and behold, that ended up happening. But before we got to the performance, we had a little bit of an issue because we felt like we were stranded there. My friend, he had like a Nissan, I think a Maxima at the time. And I don't know if you remember those Maximas or whatever, but like if you turn the key a certain way, it locks your wheel.
Wheel. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like he could have turned his car broke down. He could have turned the ignition, and now we're stranded. And this is the day before like the performance or whatever. And so we're supposed to be at this performance and we're supposed to be enjoying ourselves and like having fun, whatever. But now we're stressed out because we're like, how are you gonna get back? And this is all before the performance. And like I learned a lot about like performances and like last minute situations that day because that stuff, like even though nobody could see it on us that like our car was broken down and we didn't know how we was getting home, they could see it on us. But we was walking around performing, trying to get things done.
Yeah. They can kind of pick up that something was troubling you, huh?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And we're all arguing amongst each other. And then it's just funny because it should be on the internet somewhere, on YouTube too. After you guys watch this video, you can check it out on YouTube somewhere, like Zeeq performing at Lock Haven University. And you see how I performed it. And we're performing to a huge auditorium of people. like, in the midst of all this going on. And it went well. Everything went good. We got the party, went to all the parties afterwards and everything was cool. Only to find out the next morning that there was nothing wrong with his car, and we're calling auto mechanics everywhere. And mind you, this is on a Saturday and Sunday, so nobody's open, and we're in the middle of Pennsylvania, only for us to find out he didn't turn his key properly, and we could go. So we learned that on like the last night. I think it was like Sunday night, 11 p.m. I had to get on the road.
All right, well, how about, you've got any shout outs before we wrap up this session? It was great hearing your music, great learning more about, you coming up in the music industry. What was your most stellar performance? Any big names you've sang with? Any others that you've been touring with, or
all right, so I think I've worked with so many people. I don't want to play anybody by saying by just saying one person. So let me just say, like, I've definitely, anyone I work with the past few years has been like my best friend as far as I'm concerned. So like, I don't really look at it like this one's better than the other. I look at it like we all had different vibes and different, like,
right. Just people who you perform with, who you've been around, who you've performed with.
All right, yeah. So definitely, like, I want to speak specifically about like the people I perform live with, and that's like the live bands, like SMG, like my friend Saffra Music Group, and like all the people there that play with her all the time. They've always allowed me to be on stage and perform with them. So hopefully people continue to book them, and maybe you'll see me with them too. Like if you book me through my DJ company, because I'm gonna be through this DJ company, Long Island NYDJs.com. I'll be adding a band to my DJing also. So we'll be able to get booked with the DJ and the band from here on out. So if people want that and they want to be able to pay for both and not have to worry about getting both from different places, you can come to me. And that's going to be on the new page and the website very soon at the end of this month after Thanksgiving. So in addition to that, I just want to shout out like people like Safra who helped me perform on stage with them, like at Bradstock Festival, like in Long Island. That's like out in like Cinema Riches over there. So they have that festival almost annually. And I think that it was a great experience to perform with them in a live band. And just a lot of the songs I performed with them was like original, but we never recorded it. So all of it's memory, like, so I appreciate them for allowing me to like have that experience and jam out with them. As far as like everyone else, like just shout out to all the producers on my albums, like even the ones I credit everybody. I just want to say that, like, so you don't think I'm that rapper artist.
Full disclosure. And by the way, with your tracks that are out there now, when people want to like dig deeper into the actual music, is there a way where they can actually get the lyrics so that way they can follow along and know what the words are if they're able to go and catch them?
All right, so right now you can check it out on YouTube. I'm sure I'll have a lyric video, or I have a lyric video up there. Okay. But as of right now, there isn't any. If I'm being honest, there is no lyrics online yet. But after this video, I'm guaranteeing you're gonna see it. It's gonna be up there. It's just that I've yet to put most of my songs on streaming services. I have songs on there, but most of my songs are not, or most of my discography is not. And I have a large discography of like 20 plus albums. Wow. So you can check out my Zeeq.bandcamp.com if you check it for the music, or just YouTube me, ZEEQ. So it's ZEEQ.bandcamp.com, and I'm Zeeq, the ZYC. So ZEEQ, THE, and you could look at me on every single social media. That's my name, Zeeq the ZYC, and I have so many different videos, and they're funny. They give you a little tear here and there, like they make you happy. Overall, I'm about artistry and just finding new instruments to play and new artists to collaborate with. If there's any artists out there that want to collaborate with me, reach out to me too. I just want to shout out the producers, my family, people that helped me out, people like Rated, thank you. U5, thank you guys. It's been more than awesome. I definitely had the time of my life performing on them stages and getting to do like modeling as far as like the brand is concerned, and the graffiti, reading your book, which I also remind people here and there too to check out.
I tell you what, we're looking at bringing back the U5 Enterprises. We're coming back next year, 2025. It's called, you might look for U5 25 or U5 2025. But
Cool.
we're gonna come back. We're gonna be out with the merch. We're gonna be promoting artists.
Definitely.
And so yeah, I hope you can be a part of that. We'd like to have you perform even at
For
like we
sure.
used to, military bases,
Always.
clubs.
Rated for you, always. No
Yeah.
worries, no questions asked.
Even-
I'm a person that doesn't forget my friends and people who did right by me. So
Yeah.
for you, it's always yes, sir. Of course.
All right, man. I look forward to it, and we will have another show back in New York City, and we will
Yeah.
definitely have you out a part of that. So once again, this is Zeeq, the ZYC, out of
New York,
Long
USA.
Island and the New York City metropolitan area here on U5
Sir.
News Flash. I'm rated U5.
Yes, sir.
And
Zeeq the ZYC, Long Island, Brooklyn, 5 boroughs, upstate. What's up? Zeeq.bandcamp.com. Thank you, Rated again. And yo, guys, hit me up. Holler at me on the YouTube. See me at a performance in the city and any of the states and any other place of the world. I'll be around.
that's what's up. All right. Thanks a lot, Z. We look forward to work with you. Meanwhile, we'll listen to more of your music here in the background. Well,
Yeah.
peace out
Shout
to
to Freddie
everyone out
Last.
there. Bushwick. Yeah. Shout out to everyone out there. Regards to the fam. Tell them I said what's up. And
Yep.
we'll be catching you
Thanks,
on the
Mom.
next show.
Peace, man.
Cause I be cutting deep when I'm like, I ain't fucking with it. And she turns to me like, beat the bus we get it. I realize and I wasn't be busted in it. If I ain't no what with it, then you think this is less than ever when I would be frontin' this shit. Like, hug me, you like,